Now we will look at the understanding of morphological knowledge. Morphology deals with the smallest unit of a word that carries some meaning. This unit is called morpheme. So morphology deals with morpheme. Morpheme is the smallest unit, as sometimes is also called a word, and smallest unit who carries a meaning. So which means that it is a meaningful unit. Morphological awareness is essential to acquire or acquiring reading skills because it contributes to vocabulary expansion. So the process of vocabulary expansion is closely related to the understanding of morphological awareness. That awareness which enables students to look at different morphemes in terms of reading comprehension when they are exposed to text and they read words. Words sometimes carrying multiple morphemes, which we will discuss, derivational and inflectional, and how with the help of those morphemes, the words seem to grow, and with that resulting into understanding of different meanings, that how different morphemes convey different meanings. Now this adds to the vocabulary expansion of students. That is why this morphological awareness contribute widely and substantially in the vocabulary expansion of any student. Now, according to Miller, any effort to identify vocabulary size will eventually have to confront the morphology of the language. Reason is that vocabulary size cannot be understood or the vocabulary cannot be expanded unless and until one has the morphological awareness, which enables the understanding of the expansion of vocabulary and how one can grow one's vocabulary. Before we move on, we need to understand that morphemes are of two types. One is free morphemes and bound morphemes. Although morphemes are the smallest unit of meaning in language, but there are some words which consist of just single morpheme. They do not require bound morphemes, or they do not require any other morpheme added to it to form or convey a specific meaning. Morphemes are, as I said, free and bound. Now, free morphemes are the ones which do not require any prefix or suffix. They can stand on their own. Bound morphemes are those that are attached to free morphemes to create new words. They cannot stand on their own. They have two different kinds. One is inflectional and the second is derivational. Now, what we mean by inflectional is that they are involved when a bound morpheme is added to a free morpheme to express grammatical contrast in sentence. Inflectional morphemes in English include the plural morpheme for noun. For example, cat, and when you add s, it becomes plural, that is cats. So s is the inflectional morpheme here. Cat and then cats. So this is the inflectional morpheme. Now, in contrast, derivational morpheme are involved when bound morphemes added to free morpheme create new word. For example, N-E-S, ness, a word good, and then you have goodness. So this is the derivational morpheme. Now it turns a word good, which is adjective, into goodness, which is a noun. So other derivational morphemes change not only the syntactic category. So look, this basically, when we see it, is the syntactic category that has been changed. But then there are other morphemes. They do not only change the syntactic category, but they also our pronunciation. For example, the derivational morpheme ION changes decide, a word decide, into decision. Now, the word decide into decision. The word decide is basically verb and decision is noun. So they have changed the syntactic category from decide, verb to decision as noun. Not only that, but this D, the pronunciation of this D over here, S-I-O-N, I-O-N, shun. So this pronunciation also changes from decide to decision. So D, the second D of decide, changes the pronunciation from D to shun. So these are the two different types which are there. Now, for example, consider the word neighborhood. The root word is neighbor, and both the derivational morpheme hood and the inflectional morpheme s are applied to the root. So we are considering a word neighborhoods, and the root word is neighbor, but derivational morpheme hood and the inflectional morpheme s are applied to the root. The derivational is applied first, so the resulting word is neighborhoods, not neighborshood. Hence, morphological awareness is the ability to relate to the components of a word and their function, patterns, roots, structures, affixes. In other words, becoming familiar with the inner structure of words and the rules by which words are formed.